Welcome in Seattle, Washington, Darkwood Stadium, home of the Seattle Nemesis, coming in at 0-1 to Week 2. And they're welcoming in the DC Dragons, also coming in at 0-1. Both teams looking to get their first win of Season 19 in the Simulation Football League. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Eric Vincent alongside Jay Hayden, Stephen Hacker, and Eddie Gage in the Stats Truck for us this evening. And Jay, this should be a good one here. DC got a tough draw with the champs in Week 1, and Seattle, they hung tough for being an expansion team in Week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams, very difficult trying to get a win in Week 1 when you're playing on the road against two of the better teams we have in our league. But here in Week 2, we've got our first game here in Seattle in over 2 years in the SFL. I can't wait to see what changes Seattle and DC are going to make to try to get their first win here in Season 19.
It's actually a part of those old Tyrants teams back a couple years ago, and it's definitely good to be back up in the Pacific Northwest for Simulation Football League action. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. And before we get to football, unfortunately, we have some sad news to announce. On Friday, July the 15th, the SFL family lost one of its most treasured members. Mexico City champion quarterback, SFL analyst, and inaugural Hall of Fame class member Matt Wilson has passed away at the age of 41. He is the SFL's greatest quarterback with 48,680 yards and 354 touchdowns displayed on the field despite his physical ailments off it, and has been an inspiration to us all. He is free from the burdens of this world now, but his legacy lives on. And Seattle will kick the football off to start things here in the Pacific Northwest, Darkwood Stadium, which is a great name for a stadium, by the way. And the Nemesis have us underway here in Week 2. Short kick fielded at about the 15-yard line. That's Gus Scott, and he's going to make his way out to the 33-yard line. We'll see Shabazz Synergy take over at the helm. 6'5", 240, sixth season in the league, 4 with the DC Dragons.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Shabazz, but I really want to see what adjustments DC's going to make with the run game. They didn't give the ball a ton to Kevin Say. Let's see if that changes here in Week 2.
They're going to start out with an I formation. Good running formation here. Instead, it's going to be a swing pass over to Say. He's got one defender to beat. Good spin move there. He's got first down yardage and more. Still on his feet as he's ushered out of bounds close to midfield at the Seattle 49-yard line.
Yeah, it's almost a simple equation. You give the ball to your best player, number 20 in the backfield. Hey, you can give the ball to him out there in the flats. It doesn't really matter. You get him in open spaces, he's going to get some yards. There, Kevin Say shows he's one of the best players we have in the league.
Love to watch that young man play. Number 20 in his 4th season in the league, all with DC. Again, I formation. Flip the strong side there. Kevin Say instead gets the handoff this time, and he gets first down yardage again. Get a good chunk of 15 yards to start things off, and another one of about 11 on that play.
Yeah, and what's funny, man, it doesn't matter if he's running the ball up the middle. It doesn't matter if he gets the ball on stretch plays. It doesn't matter. He's got the power, he's got the speed, and he showed it all there on that first down play.
Sticking with that same formation and sticking with Kevin Say, and this time he'll only get maybe 1.5 yards as he makes it out to the 38. Gives us a chance to look at the DC Dragons offense. We mentioned Synergy at quarterback, number 7, Kevin Say, the running back, and Chuck Steller joins him in the backfield. Gus Scott, Ronnie Shanahan, Mike Churchill, and Josh Gill are the wide receivers. Lauren Percoco and Craig Westlake are the tight ends. Offset eye this time. Synergy play action to the fullback. Pressure comes from his backside, and Say still gets the pass. And he'll be stepping out of bounds around the 34-yard line of Seattle. And there'll be a 3rd and 5 coming up here.
Yeah, Synergy there got the ball out of his hands just in the nick of time. He had way too much pressure on him. there from that defensive line. If he wants to get a better chance and better opportunity to get the ball to his wide receivers or running back in the passing game, he's going to have to get more time from the offensive lineman.
Synergy, short drop on third down, going to air it out over the middle and caught. In between two defenders is Josh Gill, and he'll bring it inside the SFL red zone to the 10-yard line, 1st and goal.
Yeah, we're going to see that a lot throughout this game. Shabazz loves getting the ball to Josh Gill, and why wouldn't he? 6'4", 211 pounds, and he can jump as high as anybody else can in this league. Great pass and great catch there.
Had 3 catches for 33 yards just last week, and a big catch there to start things off. As Say, he'll get the handoff. Good spin move again, and he'll make it out to the 8-yard line as we get a look at Seattle's defense quickly. Sean Parent, Aaron Stein, Greg Ward, and Catherine Horrell all along the front 4. KT Horrell, David Horrell, and Matthias Citrion are the linebackers. Daniel Valentine, Ethan Kai are the corners. Kevin Smoker, Brady Clark, and Nana Leahy are the safeties. 2nd to goal from the 8. Synergy, pump fakes. Going to go opposite side. Wide open, Lauren Prococo. Touchdown, DC. Heck of a catch there. Wide open there, and Prococo just gets the feet in bounds. So that'll bring in Potty for the extra point. And the kick is up and through to make it a 7-0 ball game as DC marches down the field on their first possession and scores right away, 7-0 on the road against Seattle.
You look back at week 1, you're playing against the defending SFL champions. You put up 6 points and you have all kinds of trouble getting the ball into the end zone. On the first drive here, DC has no trouble. They get the ball straight into the end zone on the first drive. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a DC faithful.
Potty's kick hits the goal line, and a good return by Zachary Patton will bring it out to the Seattle 25-yard line. We'll see Trellis Blanton come out, the 3rd overall pick from Albuquerque. And he had himself a decent game in week 1. Looked like that Charleston just kind of had their number in week 1, but 20 of 34 for 366, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yeah, you're playing against one of the best defenses in the SFL in your first week. Good luck.
And he'll pass to start things off. Pressure into space, shuffles in the pocket, gonna air one out, into coverage and incomplete. Stride for stride was number 24, Peanut Say, and he bats the football down, incomplete.
If you got a chance to watch Trellis Blanton in SFLM, you know that he's got all the arm talent in the world, and he's going to trust his arm throughout his career. But those passes here in the pros, you just cannot make. Why? Because you've got so many more guys playing that defensive back position with more speed, more intelligence. You got to be smart on those kind of passes.
I formation, fakes it to the fullback, handoff, and that's going to be Jalen Wells. And Wells is wide open in the field, 30, 25, 20, and eventually gets brought down right near the 20 at the 21-yard line. The linebacker had to chase him down, Riley Cuse. But, man, what a run there from the former San Diego Maverick.
Heck of a run, but that was the perfect time to call that counter play that they just called. I mean, there were 8 guys in the box there for DC, and they literally just, it's as if they knew, all right, they're going to try to come out in a 4-4 defense here. Let's give them that counter play, and let's get Jalen Wells the ball, and let's get him down the field. Great play call.
That sets him up nicely near the red zone at the 21-yard line of DC. Fresh set of downs from the gun. Blanton going to sidearm it over the middle. Good catch made, and that's near first down yardage to the 12-yard line. That's T. DeQueen, another rookie on this Seattle team.
From rookie to rookie. And, hey, we talked about the arm talent just a minute ago from Trellis Blanton. You see that sidearm pass there that he does. There's not a ton of quarterbacks that can do that, whether they're in the minors or in the pros. Again, he's got all the talent in the world, and we're going to see it throughout his career.
Offset I, second and short. Handoff to the fullback. Going to have enough yardage for the first down, as that was Scott Powell that extends the drive, and that sets up 1st and 10 from about the 11. That'll give us a chance to look at the nemesis on offense here quickly. We mentioned Trellis Blanton. We saw Jalen Wells and his wheels on the ground there. Scott Powell, the fullback. Zachary Patton, David Gears, T. DeQueen, the wide receivers, and Paulie Truth, the tight end. 1st and 10 from the 11. Another good throw there from Blanton, and that finds his fullback out to the 4-yard line for a gain of 7.
Yeah, another sidearm pass. They're out to the flats. And what I find interesting with this Seattle Nemesis team, I mean, listen, we're talking the last few plays, rookie to rookie to rookie. I mean, Blanton, Powell, and DeQueen, they've made those plays. Every one of them are rookies. Every one of them are gamers. Good plays.
Almost as if this is an expansion team.
Almost, right?
2nd and 3, Wells gets buried in the backfield. Cuse reintroduces himself, this time for a TFL.
Yeah, great defense there. And listen, you know DC is going to shore up that defense more and more the closer they get to that goal line. They're going to make it more difficult for you to get into the end zone. It's not going to be that easy, and they're going to learn that real soon.
Now, 3rd and 7 is not easy. Play action here for Blanton. Steps up in the pocket, going to throw it into coverage and incomplete. And it looks like that was Declan O'Rourke that was able to get a mid on it and drop it to the turf. And we'll see a field goal attempt here for the Nemesis.
Yeah, Declan O'Rourke is probably one of the more intelligent linebackers, 6'2", 245, second season here in D.C. That we have in the SFL. I mean, he can scope out any plays at any time, and there you see he just saw what they were doing and just knocks the ball down there on that out route.
And we will see Christian Reynolds out here for a field goal attempt. Short one from about 25 yards. The snap is good, hold is down, and the kick is up and through. So it's 7-3 ball game. Both teams scoring on their first possession. And you touched on it already, Jay. It looked like DC went right back to the bread and butter, getting Kevin Say involved a whole lot in that first drive there.
Yeah, they did that, and they did it well. I mean, you know, again, in week 1 against Baltimore, I think he had about 8 carries, total throughout that entire game. You want to get him the ball as often as you can because you know that he's able to make plays whenever he feels like. He's one of the best, most talented players you're going to see in the SFL, and he's going to show it here tonight. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
Seems every time I call one of his games, he always busts out a crazy play. We haven't seen one of the trademark plays for Kevin Say just yet, but there's still plenty of time for him to do that, as he's been very impressive on the ground already. 3 attempts for 13 yards, and he's been impressive coming out of the backfield as well. Synergy, going to throw it near sideline, caught. That's by Gill, and that'll be close to about 6 or 7 yards there. 2nd down.
Yeah, that's the safety blanket once again, Josh Gill. I don't blame him. I mean, they've been together now for 4 seasons. He kind of knows where he's going to be, almost as if he can find him with his eyes closed, and there he just finds him on a simple out route to get him 6 yards.
Only one defender not in the box right now for Seattle. Handoff to Say, and Say is going to get buried in the backfield. Lost about maybe a half a yard there. That's one of those plays, Jay, where you look at it and it can go either way. Either it's going to be a huge run for the running back or it's going to be a TFL. Yeah,
EK, you are absolutely right there. If 26 Daniel Valentine doesn't make that play, then Say's probably still running right now.
3rd and manageable. Synergy out route towards the top of the formation. Very close to first down yardage. They're going to mark him just shy, as that was Scott with the catch, but he got ushered out of bounds just a hair shy of the line to gain, brings up 4th down.
Yeah, that was really, really close there. Not sure if we're going to see a challenge here or not. It doesn't look like we are. Great defense there, and that's what you want to see. Listen, you want to get them off the field as soon and as early as you can. So great defensive stand there for the Seattle Nemesis.
Punt. Decent return here as Patton is able to make it out to the 41-yard line. So good starting field position here for Seattle on their second possession, as they were able to get a stop against DC, force the 3 and out, and now they got an opportunity to take the lead early on.
Yeah, but hey, listen, I can't go another second without talking about that truck there we saw from Zachary Patton. He had one heck of a game last week, putting up over 130 yards, but there he just trucks that defender that was trying to tackle him. That was an incredible play.
Blanton steps up in the pocket and goes down. It's going to be an incomplete pass as Benny Butcher jarred the football loose just as Blanton was getting rid of it.
Benny Butcher, we're probably going to call his name a few times for good reason. 6'3", 307 pounds, fourth season here in DC. It is so tough trying to keep him away from running backs in the backfield, fullbacks in the backfield, and more so quarterbacks. And there you saw that.
Offset eye this time for Seattle. Blanton going to swing it out to his fullback, and Powell gets very little on the play. They're going to mark him down for no gain, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long. We're going to look at the defense here for DC. Saeed Gore, John Gary, Jose Fuentes, and Benny Butcher all on the front 4. Declan O'Rourke, Riley Cuse, and Nathaniel Diggs, the linebackers. John DeSantis, Peanut Say, Daryl Bullock, the corners. Ty Woodson, Jorge Torres, and Josh Vasquez are the safeties. 3rd and long. Blanton in trouble. He gets rid of it somehow, and still on his feet as well. He'll get maybe a couple of yards out to the 44-yard line. Not a great series there for Seattle, but the DC defense forced a lot of that.
Yeah, that was very intelligent there from the DC coaching staff. Essentially, what they decided to do was just bump those wide receivers and force Trellis Blanton to kind of make a quick decision. I mean, listen, we're gonna push you off your routes, gonna push your wide receivers clear off their routes, and force you to make a pass as quick as you have to, as quick as you can. There, he made that pass, but it really wasn't the best decision, and now they're punting the ball away.
And Scott will make it out to the 22-yard line, where DC will take over for their next possession. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Handoff, Kevin Say, good blocking up front. He's got a big hefty in front of him. There he goes. Past midfield and down at the Seattle 44-yard line, already averaging almost 10 yards a carry. Good grief.
Before the ball was snapped, I was already a little nervous. You watch the replay here. Seattle comes out with 3 down linemen, and in a heavy set against DC's heavy set. I would not do that in any way, shape, or form, especially when you have someone like Kevin Say in the backfield. If he's in the backfield, I'd need 4 linemen down every single time, at least.
It looks like they corrected it here as they got 4 down linemen. Kevin Say trying to find the corner, and he does. Still somehow makes something out of nothing and is able to get 4 or 5 yards out to the Seattle 39, a 34-yard run just a couple plays ago that set them up nicely in good field position.
Yeah, and listen, DC, they'll take 5 yards. If that's what they're going to give them, they're going to take it every single time. Great run there from Kevin Say.
Bunch receivers towards the bottom of the formation. Synergy steps up and is hit as he's thrown. It falls incomplete. Good pressure there by the Seattle defense. That was Catherine Horrell getting in there and making the hit.
Yeah, Catherine Horrell, the former Fort Worth Toro, she makes one heck of a play. And listen, this has been a bright spot for Seattle here in this game, at least early. It seems like this defensive line has been able to get pressure on their passing game. They're going to have to rely on that if they want to hang around here in this ball game.
Seattle faithful on their feet early on. 3rd and 5. Synergy over the middle, caught. First down yardage. And that's to Gus Scott as he moves the sticks out to the 31.
Yeah, that was just a great read there. Again, it was great pressure from the defensive line there, but it was a quick route, and the middle of the field was wide open. Listen, Synergy's been in this league for a long time. He can read those routes. He can read that defense really well, and that's what he did.
See his season 11 All-Star Synergy was, as he has another pass here. This time throwing it near sideline to Josh Gill, who's got 37 yards on 3 catches, and that's a gain of 8.
Back to that safety blanket. And it seems as though they're giving him space to run those out routes with almost ease. I mean, look at that. You don't see anybody within 5 yards of him when he runs that out route. And now some of that, give credit to Josh Gill and his ability to run those crisp out routes, crisp post routes. I mean, he's going to get space, but you cannot make it easy for him whenever he's running those routes.
DC with a 2nd and 2. Synergy going to throw it up top and incomplete. Good coverage there by Daniel Valentine, able to bat the football away. He saved a Kevin Say long run a little bit earlier in the quarter and bats the football away to prevent a touchdown.
Yeah, Valentine is playing a great game here early in this ball game, but I'll tell you this, if Synergy puts a little bit more air on that ball, that may be a touchdown there. He might have just been more lucky than good on that play.
We'll see what they got cooked up on 3rd and 2. Kevin Say gets the carry. Finds a hole, and he's still on his feet as he gets close to the 10-yard line. Mark him down at the 11. 1st and 10 coming up here for the Dragons.
And once again, what do we notice there? Watch this replay. Look at the defense. They've got 3 down linemen once again against number 20 being in the backfield. And Valentine tries to make a play back there. Can't get his hands on him or can't hold him enough because number 20 has too much power. You've got to get more people in the box if you want to get number 20 down before he gets 10 to 15 yards down the field.
And no, that's not a typo. 7 carries, 63 yards in 1 quarter for Kevin Say. Pump fake by Synergy. Over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, DC.
Did you see the pump fake there from number 7? Beautiful pump fake to kind of stall that defense. And, I mean, he just messes up number 31 there for Seattle, Kevin Smoker, who's one of the better safeties we have here in the SFL. But beautiful pump fake, beautiful pass there, and another touchdown from DC. Again, this is what you want to see. If you're the coaching staff and you're a fan of DC, you want to see this kind of offense. They've been clicking on all cylinders here early in the ball game.
Fati adds the extra point there to make it a 14-3 ball game. And you're absolutely right, Jay. I mean, you're looking at the stats. Shabazz has almost 100 yards in the first quarter with 2 touchdown passes. Kevin Say, over 60 yards on the ground, catching a couple balls out of the backfield for 20-something yards. I mean, that overall, they're cooking on all cylinders. We'll have to see how Seattle responds on defense.
Yeah, I mean, you've got one of the most intelligent coaching staffs in D.C. with Coach Mullinex, and you got the owner, Jermaine Smith. I mean, they're some of the best and brightest minds that we have in the SFL. We knew that they were going to make adjustments from last week. We just didn't know what those adjustments were, and neither did Seattle, but they're finding out here in this ball game.
That's Lord Destro to you. Lord Destro.
Lord Destro. You are absolutely correct. My apologies, Lord Destro.
He makes me say that. Otherwise, he comes and finds me.
Please don't find me, okay? Please don't.
Blanton on 1st down. He's going to swing it out to Wells. Man, what a hit there by DC. Able to knock him down to the turf after only a gain of a couple. And that was Peanut Say. He's been known for some big hits, Jay.
Yeah, Kevin Say on offense, Peanut Say on defense. Listen, he tells him, sit down. Like, I'm not having you run the ball any further. You get your 2 yards, and that's going to be enough. Great tackle there from Peanut Say.
Might see one more play before the end of the quarter here, and we will. Blanton, 5-step drop. Pressure coming in his face. He's going to throw it over the middle. Picked off! And DC is going to get a turnover to end the first quarter. Ty Woodson gets it off the deflection there as the receiver couldn't quite bring it in. Came in a little too hot on that one, Jay.
Yeah, and once again, what do you notice from this coaching staff? What they did was they decided to do a 2-man coverage there, forcing him to make a quick pass. They get the interception. Great play call from DC.
And that'll bring us to the end of one. DC up by 11 against the hometown Seattle Nemesis. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. And just like that, Seattle's defense is right back out there. Eric Vincent alongside Jay Hayden, Stephen Hacker, and Eddie Gage in the stat struck for us this evening. Synergy takes back over on offense following the turnover. A missile there, trying to find Josh Gill, but couldn't quite find him. Brings up second down.
Yeah, again, he's going to trust Josh Gill. He trusts him a little bit too much there. A little bit of an errant pass. Could have easily been intercepted. But you won't see Shabazz Synergy making those kinds of passes a ton throughout a football game at all.
Offset single back. That's going to be Kevin Say. 4 wideouts split across the formation. Synergy going to throw it Say's way. He's got a couple defenders to beat, beats them both, and then gets dragged down by the second one there. Down at the 36-yard line. Good gain of 5 there. Looked like it could have gone for a whole lot more, though.
Yeah, it really could have. Just one less spin move and probably run north and south rather than east to west on that particular play. Seattle looked out a little bit, but to give them a little credit, they did come to the ball very quickly on that play.
Synergy, just a little sidearm pass, finds his fullback Stellar, and he's going to get knocked down right around the line of scrimmage. I think they'll mark him down for a loss of a yard on the play, and brings up 4th down nonetheless, and I think we might see a long field goal attempt by Potty. And that is what we're going to see. This will be a doozy. It'll be 51 yards from the far hash.
He's got the leg for it, for sure.
Good snap. Hold gets down. And the kick is through from 51 yards. Potty showing off the steel leg there and is able to extend the lead to 2 scores.
Yeah, they're going to trust Potty at 50, probably even 60 yards, with that kind of leg. Great kick there to put 3 more points on the board for the Dragons.
And a good hold by Seattle's defense there to limit the damage and hold them to just a long field goal there. I would say that's definitely a victory for the Nemesis as they get the football back on the kickoff. Patton from his own goal line tries to find some room and is going to make it out to about the 27-yard line with about 9:41 to go here in the second. The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. Visit raredrop.co for more info on what the company does in the gaming community, and follow Rare Drop Sports on Twitch at twitch.tv/rdsports. High formation for the Nemesis. Blanton is going to throw. He's in trouble. Avoids the sack. Still has plenty of time. Got to get rid of it, though. Airs it out deep. Finds a wide open man, and that's his fullback. Scott Powell all the way down the field for a huge gain to the DC 33. That's the most bananas play I've ever seen.
Why do you take him as the 3rd overall pick in the SFL draft? Because he can make plays like that. The former Albuquerque Atom shrugging off the defensive lineman, staring down the field, gets the ball to his fullback, Scott Powell, who's all the way down the field. Great pass, is wide open, and already now, after that one play, they're here in DC territory. Great play, great moxie, and great pass there from Trellis Blanton.
After that huge play to set them up in DC territory, 4 wide for Blanton. He's going to sling it over the middle for a minimal gain of about maybe 5 or 6 yards. That'll keep him ahead of the sticks there.
Yeah, great sidearm pass once again. And kind of getting the feeling that's a pass he's really comfortable with. I mean, he's not like he's a short guy, 6'4", but he's going to be able to make those passes over top or sidearm whenever he feels like it.
Heavy formation this time. Jalen Wells buries a defender in the backfield and gets maybe a couple on the play. Could have been much, much worse, though, but sets him up nicely with a 3rd and 3 coming up.
Yeah, great shoulder there from Jalen Wells, showing that power from that 230-pound frame. Now we're at 3rd and 3. Let's see if they decide to run the ball here with Jalen or they decide to put the ball in the air. They're in shotgun here, so probably going to pass the ball in this play.
From the gun, Blanton takes the snap. Pressure in his face. Diving attempt made at the football, and that was DeQueen. She couldn't quite come up with the football, and that ends up being a 4th down. We'll see Seattle kick a field goal here.
Yeah, great effort there from T. DeQueen, the rookie from Tacoma there. But, give credit to that defense. The only reason why that pass was errant the way it was is because there was nowhere Trellis Blanton could put the ball for T. DeQueen to catch it. Defensive backs were just there, and that forced that incompletion.
Much more manageable field goal. Not a gimme, though, from about 42 yards. And the kick is up and through for Ronald Sue. And he adds 3 points to the board for Seattle to make it an 11-point ball game once again.
Yeah, I think I've got to practice that pronunciation and that accent to say the kicker's name as well as you do, EK. Say it for me one more time if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's Christian Ronald Sue.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
You grow up in the South long enough, as both of us have. You eventually nail a pig call before too long.
Oh, there's no doubt. No doubt about it.
Good return there for DC, bringing it up to the 33-yard line. And we'll see how DC responds. They've taken, honestly, they've had a good momentum swing in this first half of play. Seattle doing what they can to kind of hang tough here, but DC, they've been showing off all the toys on offense.
Yeah, they have. Again, there's those adjustments that they've been making, but absolutely give credit, like you said, to Seattle. I mean, it's not as if they've got 20, 30 points on the board right now. Seattle's defense is playing well.
Coco with her second catch as she gets close to first down yardage. Caught a touchdown grab earlier in the first quarter of play, and that one for a gain of 8.
Yeah, she's going to, again, we mentioned it earlier, some of the most crisp routes you're going to see from a tight end. She's going to do those, and she's going to run those routes. And 6'7", 260 pounds, the agility to be, the size that she is just incredible.
Heavy formation, 2nd and 2. Say with the carry, and good stop there by the Seattle linebacking core. KT Harrell leading the charge.
Yeah, KT Harrell, I'm going to give her all the credit in the world for that play because once again, they came out with those 3-down linemen, and DC is in a heavy set getting them ready to run the ball down Seattle's throat. KT was having no parts of it. Great tackle there in the backfield.
Said I. Say, got to get buried in the backfield, and guess who? KT in the backfield once again, making the stop. Along with Catherine Horrell, it's a Horrell family affair here in Seattle.
Yeah, KT and Catherine both making the play there in the backfield. That's front seven. They've really come to play here tonight, and that's what you have to do if you want to get a win against DC because you know who their best player is. I mean, it's no secret. Number 20 is the best player that they have. If you keep number 20 under wraps, you've got a chance to win the game. Great stand there from the Seattle Nemesis.
Still plenty of time to work with here in the second quarter. About 6 minutes to go for Seattle and all 3 timeouts. Trying to get themselves back in the ball game, down by 11. And they've done some good things on offense. Trellis Blanton, 7 of 12, 67 yards. He had the one interception there that was probably more his receiver's fault than anything else. Jalen Wells has been impressive on the ground when he's run the football, so we'll have to see what they focus on here on this next possession with 6:14 to go here in the first half. Blanton will throw to start things off. Finds a wide open man near the bottom of the screen there, and that's caught by Zachary Patton as he gets first down yardage out to the DC 45.
Yeah, we've been waiting for Zachary Patton to get the ball on offense. He's had the ball a few times on special teams, but now he's finally got his hands on the football after a pass play, and I guarantee you that's not going to be the last time, especially after the week he had just 1 week ago.
Yeah, it was the Patton and Gears show just a week ago against Charleston. 131 for Patton through the air, and David Gears had 94 yards of his own. Blanton from under center this time. Quick fires it. Receiver had to come back for the football. That was Jason Meiser, one of the extra receivers in the formation, and it's going to be marked down as a TFL, a loss of 1 on the play.
The reason that ended up being a play that lost yards is because those defensive backs absolutely destroyed the wide receivers before they even got a chance to get off of the line of scrimmage. What strength and what tenacity from this defense.
Wells, talk about strength and tenacity there as he buries a defender just past the line of scrimmage. And he's averaging just north of 11 yards a carry on 4 carries so far. And Jay, he's looked good so far.
Yeah, he has. And I mean, we don't expect anything less. He had a great couple seasons with San Diego. Now he's here in Seattle. I mean, we know that he can make plays, and he shows again that strength that you mentioned on that play.
Blanton, 7-step drop. Gonna gun it over the middle, and he's got his man. That's Pauly Truth, the tight end, with a big catch there as they get closer to the SFL red zone down at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass there and beautiful route, beautiful catch from Pauly Truth there. You see he's blowing the linebacker there. I believe that's Declan O'Rourke. They're trying to guard him. He's probably not going to win that battle too many times just because of the speed that Pauly Truth has. It's a great route and a great pass from Seattle.
17-yard pitch and catch, and they're looking to add more here, coming out in an empty set. Blanton over the middle, checks it down to Pauly Truth, and Pauly does the rest as he is able to move the sticks inside the SFL red zone. We go to the 14-yard line. First down.
Yeah, DC has their tight end that we know and we love and we're going to talk about all day long in Lauren Pococo. But Seattle has one too, and they're showing just how well 85 can play. That comeback route there is wide open, and Trellis Blanton finds him in the middle of the field. Great pass.
Going empty once more. Blanton. Pressure coming in his face. Why not? Going to check it down once more to Pauly. And this time he gets stopped for a gain of 5.
Yeah, it looks like the same exact play. It looks like the same exact route, and I don't blame them for running it because they found something that actually works. They're getting the ball down the field here quickly, and they're definitely loving it here in Seattle.
Pro set this time. Blanton in trouble, and he's going to get sacked in the backfield. Knocked down near the 20-yard line. And that was big number 96, John Gary, 6'6", 288. That's a big dude.
That is a big dude. 4th season here in D.C. And again, though, you got to have that clock in your head if you're Trellis Blanton. And he'll get it. I mean, again, this is his second game here in the pros. But you got to know, hey, these defensive linemen, they are coming for me. And with bad intentions, got to get rid of that ball quicker.
3 down linemen for D.C. on defense on this 3rd and long. Blanton. Blitz coming. He's going to air it out over the middle. Caught! Touchdown, Seattle. That was an incredible pass there, Jay.
It was. Beautiful touch there from Trellis Blanton. We've seen throughout this game and really last week as well, a lot of his passes have been bullets. He's thrown a lot of bullets on those out routes, a lot of bullets on those post routes. There, he puts a good bit of touch, just the amount of touch needed in order for his wide receiver to get into the end zone where he needed him to be. Touchdown, Seattle. Great play.
And a great response there by the Nemesis to go ahead and get the ball into the end zone. David Gears with the touchdown reception. 9-yard passing touchdown from Blanton to Gears. And extra point is up and through. So now 17-13. DC holding on by 4 points with 2:49 to go here in the first half. The SFL produces over 400 live events each year, but don't miss community content creators and their creations. Catch SFL Nights with AJ Stryker, Save with Your Chest, Netma, and more, covering Season 19 and beyond. To check out archive versions of community shows, visit simulationfl.net and click the logo of your favorite form of SFL entertainment on our homepage. Scott with the return, trying to squeeze his way through the sea of humanity there right around the 30. They'll mark him down at the 34. And DC will set up shop with 2:44 to go here in the half.
Obviously, Eric, there's no reason for either one of these teams to panic here. I mean, it's 17-13, and we're in the second quarter. But if you're DC, you don't want to lose momentum. I mean, at one point in time, it kind of seemed like DC could score at will. Now it seems like the momentum is on the side of Seattle. Let's see if that changes on this drive.
Synergy, airing it out, bobbled and picked off. Turned over by the Seattle defense just as you were asking for it, Jay. And Kevin Smoker responds, the rookie out of Ottawa.
Momentum stays on the side of Seattle here in Seattle. Just a tip drill there and another interception from Kevin Smoker, 6'2", 220, the rookie out of Ottawa. Great play, great catch there. And Seattle, man, I mean, they're really showing it doesn't matter. Listen, they've got 8 rookies on this team. It doesn't matter. They're playing this game as if they're all veterans here. I love what I'm seeing from Seattle.
Also, congratulations, young man. Kevin Smoker with his first career SFL interception as Blanton airs it out and almost gives an interception right back as Peanut Say was in coverage, and you certainly don't want to pick on him.
You do not want to pick on Peanut Say at all. Leave Peanut Say, leave 24 alone if you can. Listen, if your wide receiver's wide open, then you throw the ball at the 24 side. Otherwise, look the other way.
Offset eye, heavy formation here. DC bracing for the run. They're going to get it as Wells bounces it to the near sideline, and he's going to get about 6 or 7 on that play. Brings up third and manageable from about the 45.
Yeah, why not go to the most seasoned player on your offense, on the offensive side of the ball if you're the nemesis? Give the ball to Jalen Wells. Let him make some plays there. There he gets 7 yards. Now we're looking at a 3rd and 3.
Offset eye again, probably the last play before the 2-minute warning. Instead, we're going to see a fullback dive, and that's going to be first down yardage for Scott Powell as he extends the drive out to the DC 42. We have hit the 2-minute warning here in Seattle. The Nemesis looking to get back out on top over DC. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Fresh set of downs, courtesy of Scott Powell. 1:58 to go in the half. Blanton going to check it down to Wells. Wells trying to squeeze through just about every DC defender they got, and he'll only get a yard for the efforts.
And the thing that I appreciate on that play, I understand it's just a 1-yard gain, but the thing that I love is that Trellis Blanton is already learning, I've got to get rid of this ball quickly. And he's not in a hurry. Okay, he's not out of control. It's just the understanding that I cannot hold the ball too long. Otherwise, I'm going to get sacked, and we cannot afford to lose yards.
Blanton pump fakes. Again, checks it down, this time to his fullback, Powell. And he's had himself a heck of a game receiving the football. Who would have thought that the fullback would end up being a huge receiving threat, as that's his 4th catch for over 50 yards.
Yeah, you give all credit to the coaching staff for doing that, for deciding, hey, let's go a different route here. Give the ball to the fullback, and that's not something DC would expect.
Blanton hears he's thrown, still able to complete the football, and that's going to be a first down inside the SFL red zone to the 17. No huddle we go.
Beautiful pass there.
Pro set again. Blanton guns it over the middle. Touchdown, Nemesis. Zachary Patton gets on the scoreboard.
This offense is clicking, and it's clicking because of the rookies here, as well as Jalen Wells, as well as Polly Truth, but their incredible pass from their all rookie, we'll call him, quarterback and Trellis Blanton. He's loving that sidearm pass, and I'm loving watching him do it, man. It's a thing of beauty, but even a better route ran there from Zachary Patton. Touchdown from the Nemesis.
And the extra point is up and good as Seattle takes a 3-point lead. Man, oh man, they had themselves an 8-play drive, 57 yards, 9-yard passing touchdown. This past one, 7 plays, 53 yards, 17-yard passing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, they're clicking right now. You've got to love what you're seeing from this Seattle Nemesis offense. I mean, it really is something to admire, considering you're talking about a team. I mean, these guys and gals have never played with each other, outside obviously, week 1. But you're playing against a team in DC where they've had a few seasons under their belt to kind of get used to each other. Seattle hasn't had that luxury, but it doesn't seem like it matters here. after 1 week of play. And they look really, really good here, offensively and defensively.
So DC gets a crack at it here. 43 seconds, all 3 timeouts for both teams. Synergy. Going to check it down to Say, and he's met by a slew of Seattle defenders. And that's going to be marked for a no gain. Brings up second down here as the clock continues to roll. I think both these teams just content to go into the locker room and regroup a little bit.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm telling you right now, just based on that one play, even though that was a simple little screen play there, I love what I see from Seattle because they are swarming to this ball right now.
Synergy again, this time to Percoco as she steps out of bounds there around the 34-yard line, freezes the clock at 8 seconds, and brings up 3rd and short.
Yeah, not allowing anything. I mean, yeah, we're almost at the end of the first half, but Seattle doesn't care. They're not allowing anything deep right now. They are playing with cruel intentions, and I love what I'm seeing from this defense.
Synergy, 3rd and 4, finds a wide open man. That's going to be first down yardage out to midfield. DC will burn a timeout with 3 seconds to go, and that'll at least set up a Hail Mary attempt here.
Yeah, it will, and I think Seattle just really wanted to keep them from having a big play there. I mean, obviously, you look at that and you say, well, they got over 10 yards, so, what do you call that? But I think they just wanted to keep them out of the end zone, especially only having 3 seconds left here in the first half, and that they accomplished. Let's see what happens here on this Hail Mary.
Hail Marys are always interesting plays, especially in this league.
Oh, absolutely.
Synergy takes the snap, has time. He's going to heave it right down the middle of the field towards the back of the end zone and incomplete. A little bit too much mustard on that one. Seattle actually came up with the football, but it was out of the back of the end zone, incomplete, and we've reached halftime. Seattle up by 3 points on the DC Dragons, 20-17 here at home, with both of these teams looking for their first win in Season 19, first win overall for the Seattle Nemesis in their expansion season. What jumps out at you with the first half stats and highlights here, Jay?
Really what jumps out at me is it seems like we played 2 different games in just the first 2 quarters. The first quarter seemed as though DC was probably going to run away with it, if I'm being honest with you. We've got all the respect in the world for the coaching staff for DC just because of the things that they've been able to accomplish over the course, of the DC's existence. But, they go up 17-3 against Seattle. And again, we're talking about an expansion team. We're talking about a team with a lot of rookies. We're talking about a team that has never played with each other outside of week 1. So when you get to a point where you're having to deal with that adversity, you're thinking, all right, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to come back. They're not going to know how to continue to compete. But Seattle shows us and shows DC, yeah, we do know how to compete. We know how to play the game of football. They're making great plays. They're making great plays on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. They kept them from scoring another point. They didn't score another point after going up 17-3. Seattle decides they want to score 17 points unanswered. Great job there from Seattle in the first half. They have the momentum. Let's see if they continue on with that momentum going into the second half early. I mean, you see plays like that where Trellis Blanton, he just throws off the defensive lineman there. I mean, it easily could have been a sack for 10-plus yards lost there for Seattle, but it wasn't. Instead, it was about a 30, 40-yard gain. It's been a clinic that we've seen from this Seattle team so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jay. I think you hit the nail on the head. It was a tale of almost 2 quarters, basically, at that point. With DC clearly having the momentum in the first quarter, Seattle seizing the momentum in the second quarter of play. And all the momentum is firmly in Seattle's grasp, especially because they get the football to start the second half. So it's definitely going to be one of those things where you have to watch how DC responds against this Seattle team that now has all the momentum. They are feeling themselves a little bit, and they're feeling hot. And they played really, really well, I think, in that second quarter play to score the 17 unanswered points to take the lead. David Horrell leading all tacklers with 4 and an assist. So that's of note for sure. Both running backs very, very good in the first half of play as well. Kevin Say with 60 yards, Jalen Wells with 62 yards.
Yeah, almost identical games there from those running backs. And there's no doubt we're going to see more fireworks from those two running backs here in the second half.
So Pati gets us going here in the second half of play. Patton, who caught the last touchdown for Seattle, is able to make it out to the 21-yard line, and that's where the Nemesis will take over to start the third quarter of action. And man, oh man, we touched on it before, Jay. It's good to be back in the Pacific Northwest, up in Seattle. Space Needle, all that good stuff for the SFL.
Yeah, it absolutely is, man. There's nothing like football in Seattle, and we're so glad to have a football team in the SFL back, in this great state of Washington.
Blanton in trouble right away. He's going to throw in and incomplete. That was great defense by DC right out the gate. Pressure in the quarterback's face. Good coverage on the back end there and an incompletion.
Yeah, that was just great defense there from DC. Once again, you want to keep the ball far away, from Peanut Say's side of the field there. Otherwise, he will make you pay. Fortunately for Seattle, that didn't result in a turnover.
Blanton again to throw, and he's not going to get away this time. 2 defenders were about to sandwich him there, and he's lucky to get away with his head after that play, Jay.
Yeah, and honestly, that wasn't one of those plays where we can blame Trellis Blanton. He just didn't have any time. I mean, as soon as he was done dropping back, he had to run for his life. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to run too long before he was absolutely blasted from Josh Vasquez there, the former Denver Nightwing.
Solid safety blitz that was called there, and that brings up a 3rd and long. Blanton doesn't like what he sees at the line. He's going to change things up. He's got 5 wide to work with. Blanton, pump fakes. Plenty of time. That time has got to go off in his head. He's got to get rid of the football sometime today, please. And he falls incomplete as he's hit behind the line. You're begging and pleading with him a little bit here, Jay, to get rid of the football for his own safety's sake.
You cannot hold the ball that long in the pros. You can't do it. They didn't rush with 3 linemen there, and they were still able to get pressure on them. You've got to get rid of the ball there on that play. And I believe that's something he's going to learn as time goes on, but you cannot do that here in the pros.
So we'll see a punt from Lilac Butte. First one of the evening. A good starting field position for the DC Dragons as they will get it at the 48-yard line, so not even a minute off the clock there as DC did their job on defense and hands the football off to their offense.
Yeah, that they did, and you don't want to overstate anything, especially this early in the second half, but I do believe, at least from a mental standpoint, that's the kind of thing that you needed if you're DC. You needed that 3 and out to get them off the field, just from a momentum standpoint alone.
I formation, Kevin Say squeezes through the line, still squeezing through, and is able to find 4 yards off of that play.
Yeah, that was very close to breaking for a lot more than 4 yards. Fortunately for Seattle, they had so many defenders there in the box that he just wasn't able to get loose. But he was doing everything he could to try to get to the outside so that he would be running down the sidelines, potentially for another touchdown.
Again, I formation, free play this time around. Going to swing it out to Say. He's got blocking in front, couple spin moves, and he gets close to the line to gain. We'll have to see if DC is going to accept the penalty or not there. It'll be a free 5 yards. And it looks like DC will take the penalty. That'll be 5 yards for the neutral zone infraction there by Aaron Stein.
Yeah, you love the energy, but you want them to stay within the rules, of the game there. But I'm going to give some credit there to David Horrell because if he didn't make that tackle there in open field on Kevin Say is going to be running for about 20 or 30 yards, no question.
2nd and 1. Say will get the handoff here. Turns on the afterburners into the open field. 20-15, 10, 5. Touchdown to Kevin Say. What a run.
What a run indeed. Only a matter of time. If he sees green, he is gone. And that's exactly what he saw in that stretch play there. Give credit to that offensive line for opening up that hole. Give credit to the fullback there. What a block there on the outside. But you don't need to give him much space for him to take it to the house, because Kevin Say is one of the best we've seen here in the SFL.
And with that run, he tops the century mark in the 3rd quarter. 47-yard scamper to the end zone for Kevin Say. And that puts DC back out in front.
11 attempts for 107 yards. What a game so far.
Low snap, but gets it down, and the kick is up and through. So I don't want to understate this at all, but those are video game numbers, right?
Yeah, you know, it's something similar to that, wouldn't you say? I mean, no pun intended, but I mean, listen, 20 is just one of those guys, man, where, you know, at any point in the game, even if at this point in the game, let's say he has 15, 20 yards total all game long, it takes nothing for him to break about 60 or 70-yard run in the blink of an eye. He's just that good.
Zachary Patton with the return out to the 22-yard line. Esports TV has partnered with the SFL to bring sim football to millions of homes over the next 2 years. ESTV is the world's first 24/7 live linear and video on-demand esports channel, available everywhere through your smart TV, on your phone, through Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. Visit estv.co to learn more about its programming and to find all the ways you can catch the SFL action on the network. Hand off to the fullback there, Scott Powell, who's been more of a receiving threat here for the Nemesis, but gets a carry for about 3 on the play.
Yeah, certainly they trust their 68th pick there in the SFL draft from this past draft. They trust him pretty well for as many times as they've given him the ball, whether it's been, like you mentioned, handoffs or it's been in the pass game. And I don't blame him, because he's showing the talent that he has in this football game.
Playing from the gun, pressure coming in his face, and he's going to get rid of it quickly. And he finds his man Gears towards the near sideline, going to bring up a 3rd and short as he steps out of bounds.
Yeah, 3rd and 2 here. And, you know, we're, as commentators, you know, you want to tell the story of the game. And again, like we mentioned before, we're you know, you don't want to overstate or understate anything. But on 3rd and 2, you really want them to get this first down here, because momentum is certainly on the side of DC, and they want to get that back.
Wells with the carry. Good blocking up front, and a vicious stiff arm gives him extra yardage out to the Seattle 41-yard line. Jalen Wells, go ahead and do your shimmy shake, man. You deserve it.
You absolutely do, and that's the way you get that momentum back for sure. They only needed 2 yards. They got a lot more there from Jalen Wells, and they also get one heck of a stiff arm along the way. 27 showing the power that he has on that run play. Great run from Jalen Wells, and now they've got another set of downs.
Both these running backs looking very, very good today. Jalen Wells, 72 yards on 7 carries, averaging just north of 10 yards a carry. Blanton gonna air it out deep. Wants the home run, and it's incomplete. Almost an interception by Jorge Torres, the former Queen City Corsair. He was looking for the tight end. Paulie Truth falls incomplete.
Yeah, that he was, but he should have been looking for Zachary Patton there on the sideline. Zachary Patton was wide open running down the side, but I think he wanted to get the ball to his tight end instead. Kind of got tunnel vision there, but you know, those are things he'll clean up along the way.
Bunch receivers towards the bottom of the formation on this 2nd down. Jalen Wells with a ton of space in the middle, and he'll get a carry of about 6 or 7 yards into Seattle, into DC territory, up to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Jalen Wells is kind of carrying this offense right now. I mean, really, he's showing them, you know, what it means to be a leader offensively by running with as much power and with as much determination as he has the last few times he's gotten the ball.
3rd and short. DC stacking the box, putting 7 defenders in. Doesn't matter. They're going to give them a free play anyway. And that's going to be a fresh set of downs for Seattle as DC jumped early.
Yeah, and John Gary, listen, he knows better than that. He just wants to make a play. But unfortunately for them, that play that he just made isn't legal. And so Seattle now is going to get the first down after accepting that penalty.
DC defense overall looking pretty good. Josh Vasquez, the leading tackler right now, with 2 solo tackles, 6 assists, and that sack earlier on that safety blitz. He is leading the way for this DC defense. Fresh set of downs for Blanton. Gonna air it out, and it's going back the other way. DC is gonna have reservations for 6 if Wells can't catch him, and Wells will finally bring him down at the 6-yard line. It looked like DC was gonna take that one all the way back, and Jorge Torres is kicking himself right now.
As soon as that ball came out, in the words of the late great, and I say great, I should say the greatest of all time, Matt Wilson. Oh no. Whenever he threw that ball, immediately you knew that was bad. And they got the interception there. Jorge Torres did, and almost took it back to the house. Unfortunately for Seattle, great defensive play from DC, and now they're looking at potentially putting 6 more points here on the board.
Beautiful interception there for Torres. And that sets DC up very nicely inside the 10-yard line. Kevin Say looking to get into the end zone, muscling his way towards the goal line, but they'll mark him down at the 3 as the Nemesis gang tackled him there.
Yeah, but still he shows that power. He shows that drive of those legs, because it took them about 3 players to get him down before he got to the 3-yard line. Let's see what they do here on 2nd and goal.
Trips towards the top. Say gets the carry, and he gets buried in the backfield. Good pursuit there by Matthias Citrion, the 4th-round pick coming out of Lincoln.
Yeah, Matthias just was not going to be stopped there. It seemed like as soon as the ball was snapped, he was in the backfield. Heck of a tackle there from Matthias there, making that tackle on number 20, Kevin Say.
So that sets up 3rd and goal. 4 wide, Synergy under center. Say is the single back. Synergy, 7-step drop. End zone, incomplete. There was about 4 purple jerseys back there, and I think I saw 1 white jersey back there. That's not a recipe for success, Jay.
No, that's a bad equation if you're on the offensive side of the ball there, for sure. Synergy's trying to thread the needle. They're trusting his arm a little bit too much. Fortunately for him, it didn't result in an interception. Very easily could have. If Seattle had to give up anything, certainly they would willingly give up 3 points rather than a touchdown here. So definitely a win for Seattle.
And the field goal is up and through from Pautee. And that makes it a 7-point ball game for DC. The SFL has partnered with Laser to deliver digital SFL player trading cards to its players and viewers during live events on SFL Twitch. Viewers every 30 minutes will be issued cards, or you can buy SFL card packs through Laser's store. The new Season 19 pack will be available soon. Visit laser.gg, that's LAYZR.gg, and click the Join Alpha button to connect your Twitch account and begin collecting. Zachary Patton with the return out to the 24-yard line. So Jalen Wells saves essentially 4 points off the board there for the DC Dragons, stopping Jorge Torres on that long interception return.
Yeah, we mentioned it before. I mean, he's basically shown this entire team, not just the offense. He's shown what a leader looks like. Those are the kind of plays leaders make, because easily he could have given up on that play, and we're talking about a touchdown going the other way for DC.
Blanton in trouble again, and he's going to go down. Pocket was collapsing in a hurry. He had absolutely no shot at getting rid of the football as Nathaniel Diggs comes in and makes the sack.
Yeah, what you call that is a coverage sack. I mean, there was nobody that was open. He was trying his best to find space to even get rid of the ball, and there was nothing. I mean, you look at how many white jerseys are around him. As soon as he wants to get rid of the ball, he's got no shot. He's got no shot of it. Great defense there from Riley Cuse from the DC Dragons.
So after the sack, that sets up 2nd and 16. Blanton under center. Wells the lone back, 4 wide. Blanton again hit as he's thrown, but he finds Patton. Patton's got blocking out in front. He's got first down yardage and more, and he'll make it out to the 40-yard line of Seattle. What a play there as he's able to get 22 on the play.
Yeah, Jalen has been showing what a leader looks like, but you know who else has? Zachary Patton. You know, second-year player out of Jacksonville. He's been showing what a leader looks like for the last couple of weeks here for Seattle. And anytime they need any sort of yards, they get the ball out to number 10, and he gets them what they need. Great catch and great run.
Fresh set of downs now for the Nemesis. Wells will get the carry, and he gets buried right near the line of scrimmage. It's like it was Cuse and O'Rourke that were combining in there on the stop.
Yeah, two of the best linebackers we've got in the SFL, 54 and 52, making a play there right at the line of scrimmage. They give them a yard there, so now we're looking at 2nd and 9.
Offset eye for 2nd and 9. 4 down lineman for DC. Blanton, 7-step drop. He's going to air it out. Wants the home run ball. Got it! Inside the 20 to the 15 and down at the 12-yard line as David Gears makes a big play. We were just wondering when Gears was going to pop off. There he is.
There he is indeed. And I'll tell you what worked with this play. DC comes out in a 4-4 defense. But the offensive play that Seattle comes out with has both wide receivers on each side of the field running straight down and running inside on a skinny post route. The safety has to make a decision. Which wide receiver am I going to guard? Which decision do I make? Whichever one you make is going to be the wrong one because Trellis is going to throw the ball to the other one, and he did on that play.
Blanton throws to a wide open Wells, lowers his shoulder. What a great open field tackle. Jorge Torres does it all as he's able to stop him, not before he gets first down yardage, but prevents the touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a great play from this offense, but you're right. That's one heck of a play there from 32, Jorge Torres, because easily that.
So 1st and goal from the 1. Blanton in trouble. Going to throw it back corner of the end zone, and that's an interception. Jorge Torres again. 2 plays in a row. He shows up and shows out, and this time it results in another interception. So a disappointing end to a promising drive there for Seattle. As Jorge Torres comes up with his 2nd interception of the ball game, and DC goes right back to work as Gus Scott is able to get a huge reception there of 22 yards to get to the DC 42.
Great pass, great route there on that corner route ran by number 11 there, Gus Scott. Beautiful over-the-shoulder catch now. DC, again, with that momentum after that turnover.
Clock continuing to tick away here. 2.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. DC up by 7, looking to add to it after that turnover on the last drive by Seattle. Handoff. Zay not able to get a whole lot on that play as Seattle was ready for him. Gets 3. And there was a slew of Seattle defenders that brought him down.
And that's what they're going to have to do here. I mean, obviously, they're going to have to swarm to that football. They're going to have to force DC to give them the ball back here to stay in this football game.
Synergy to throw. He's going to sling it out to Say. Good blocking out in front, trying to find some room. He gets the first down. But, man, I know he was looking for a whole lot more on that play, Jay.
Yeah, for sure he was. And he could have gotten it there. A lot of blocking on that sideline. Wasn't able to get the first down, unfortunately. Oh, yes, he was. My apologies. He was able to get the first down, but he certainly could have gotten a lot more on that play if not for the defense stepping up there at the last minute.
Setting up shop in Seattle territory now. 1st and 10. Synergy falling down is Josh Gill, but he makes the reception. Gain of 5 out to the Seattle 43-yard line.
You know, I'm not real sure if there's a wide receiver in our league that runs a better out route, than 84, just Josh Gill does. I mean, it seems like he runs the most crisp out route I've ever seen.
Did a good job on that one, securing the catch. Kevin Say trying to redirect his run path there and is able to make 4 yards out to the 38-yard line. 3rd and short coming up here with about 60 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, I was giving credit there to Josh Gill. I was just reminded by the great Eddie Gage that there's a guy in Baltimore who wears number 10 by the name of Ivory Irvin that also runs one heck of an out route as well, and he's absolutely right about that.
Can't slip those past Eddie. He knows. Synergy. Energy's thrown. Say on the run, coming out of the backfield again as a runner, and he makes it out to the Seattle 29-yard line. He is a dual threat in every sense of the word. He can take the ball as a runner. He can take the ball as a receiver.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Hey, you're absolutely right. It does not matter. Give the ball to him in the run game, hand the ball off to him in the backfield, he'll get you yards. Pass the ball to him on screen routes, he'll get you yards. I mean, it's pick your poison at this point, and that's exactly what's happening right now on this drive.
4 wide, 3 towards the top of the formation. Synergy, 7-step drop. He's going to go down. Back near the 40-yard line. Mark him down at the 38. And that was a big play by Greg Ward getting in there for the sack. And Brady Clark was actually injured on that play. That's not good news for the Seattle defense.
Not good news at all. Brady Clark, one of the better free safeties we have in the SFL. They're going to want to get him back on this field as soon as possible. If not, DC may scope that out and decide to start going deep in the middle of the field.
3 tackles and a pass defended for him tonight. We'll have to see if he returns to action. We'll keep you posted from the sidelines as Synergy is going to find a wide open Lauren Percoco over the middle of the field. And that's going to get some of the lost yardage back out to the 26-yard line. And that will bring us to the end of the third. You know the drill, people. 4's up, 86s, and 12's up in the chat right now. One more quarter to play here from Seattle. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Synergy with a good game here this evening, I should say. Quarterback rating of over 100 for him as he's faced with a 3rd and 6. Fires it over the middle. He's got his man out to the 14-yard line inside the SFL red zone to go, as that was Churchill that made the catch.
Yeah, and we haven't called Churchill's name a ton in this game at all, but that was an incredible pass there. And also going back to the previous play, they need to find Lauren Percoco more often as well. That was a beautiful pass when they hit her on that previous play.
Synergy again to throw. Wants to air it out. End zone tipped and incomplete. And maybe that's why we haven't seen Churchill's name called a little bit today.
That may be wise. He may need to put the gloves on, in the next game or maybe on the next drive there, because there's no question he got his hands on that ball. That's an easy touchdown for DC. But he doesn't drop the ball too often. He'll get another shot at it, no doubt in my mind.
He had a touchdown grab earlier in the ball game and obviously had one on this drive, a nice catch to extend the drive. 2nd down now as Say. Good spin move there, still on his feet. The man will not go down, and he gets a gain of 7 on 2nd down.
It gets to a point where you basically just holding on for the ride. I mean, that really is all it is. I mean, you grab onto his jersey, he spins off. Next thing you know, you're laying on the ground looking up at the stars wondering what the heck just happened. He just has that talent, and it's almost once-in-a-generation type talent that number 20 has.
A lot of talented running backs in the SFL that are very similar to that. But this time, man, oh man, Kevin Say, I'm surprised he got up that quick, to be totally honest. David Horrell came in and laid a wallop on him.
Let me apologize right now to David Horrell. Apparently, he's had enough of me giving credit to Kevin Say. So my apologies, sir, because he absolutely destroyed him on that run there, and that's what they needed to keep them from getting in the end zone. Great defensive stand from Seattle.
So we'll see another Potsy field goal up and through from 26 yards this time. And they make it a two-possession ball game, DC does, 30-20. And Seattle still in this ball game here with 9:20 to go. We've seen flashes from them, obviously. DC seizing control here in the second half off of turnovers and things of that nature. But Seattle has played themselves a great ball game, I feel, so far.
Oh, there's no question about it. You know, I'm sure they're getting tired of hearing this, but they're going to hear it probably for the rest of this season. You know, we're talking about a very young team. And for them to be in the football game right now with the team that, you know, as a reminder, yeah, their first couple of seasons back, and speaking of DC, didn't have the best records in the world, but just last season, I mean, we're talking about a playoff team, you know, and they're hanging around with them here in Seattle. They're doing a fantastic job. We just need to see on this drive, need to see them get that momentum back and put some points on the board.
Definite run formation here. Delayed handoff to Jalen Wells, and Wells will be lucky to get maybe a half yard out of it. Looks like Brady Clark will return possibly later on in the ball game. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Plus features from our content team, including Swamp Talk, Power Rankings, and many more feature series. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. As Blanton finds Zachary Patton very easily there. It was, I know it's not an easy play, but he made it look so easy on that play, Jay.
And that's the talent that Trellis Blanton has. Exactly what you said is exactly the talent that Trellis Blanton has. He can make plays that are not easy, that aren't routine, look very routine. That's what happened on that pass play.
Blanton, again, with a little sidearm toss, and I don't know how he found his fullback there, but able to get 8 yards on that play out to the 42.
Yeah, back-to-back plays, and that one was probably more impressive than the previous play was, just because easily that could have been an interception going the other way, but it wasn't because he fit the ball in right where he needed to his fullback and almost got the first down there. Trellis Blanton has all the arm talent in the world.
2nd and 2, again, delayed handoff, ball's on the turf, and I think Seattle got it back. They're lucky to get the football back there on a 3rd and 7, and I think the hit just jarred the football loose there, Jay.
Yeah, but they need to thank their guard, Jim Reese, there. I believe that was no, it wasn't Jim Reese. That was actually Ty Dublin there that jumped on the ball there. Otherwise, DC gets that ball, and they're going the other way.
Nathaniel Diggs able to jar the football loose and force the fumble. And consequently, the loss of about 5 yards brings up 3rd and 7. Blanton over the middle into traffic, and that falls incomplete. Brings up 4th down. Want to update you over on the other game of action on the league's Twitch page. Vegas scores their game-winning touchdown with 10 seconds left to come back and beat Lone Star on the road, 32-29. We have had an impeccable slate of games here today on this fine Saturday.
Yeah, that we have. Why do we love the SFL so much? That's why. You're not going to see games that are as competitive and are as nail-biting as you do in the SFL. There's no question about it.
Butte gets the punt away. Scott with a nice little shimmy step there, and it makes it out to the DC 29-yard line. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 1st and 10 from the DC 29, up by 10. Synergy goes back to work, pump fakes, finds his man down the near sideline, and Scott barely keeps his footing in bounds and stumbles out at about the 29.5-yard line.
Yeah, and if he takes a little bit off of that pass, he gives his wide receiver an opportunity to cut the ball upfield. Unfortunately, he puts way too much. He kind of bullets that pass to the flat there, and the momentum drives Gus Scott out of bounds, and unfortunately losing the yard there for the DC Dragons.
Synergy. Going to swing it out to Kevin Say. And Say will get buried right around the 37-yard line. Gets back about 7 or 8 yards on the play and brings up a 3rd and short.
3rd and short here. Great tackle in open field on Kevin Say there. Now with a 3rd and 3. I wonder if they're going to try to get the ball to him once again out there in the flats.
We'll see. They got bunch of receivers towards the top of the formation. Synergy. Instead, going to air it out opposite, near sideline and incomplete. Josh Gale still had an opportunity at the football, but Valentine popped it up in the air and forced the incompletion.
Yeah, that he did. Daniel Valentine's had an incredible game here. I mean, he's made plays in a run game. He's made plays in the passing game. He's really kept this defense and this team really in the game with the plays that he has made. They're great back on that pass play for sure.
That keeps Seattle in the ball game with 6:13 to go. Wilson with the punt. And Patton will get gang tackled just north of the 30-yard line. Mark him down at the 34. Well, we talked about an impeccable slate of games here today. We've got more action tomorrow. Coverage of the SFL on Next Level Sports continues tomorrow, July 17th at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, with the Los Angeles Lycans welcoming defending champion Baltimore, with live look-ins on another battle of expansion teams, Canton and Indianapolis. Next week's coverage will feature Las Vegas and Florida and Denver-Fort Worth. For a channel guide and more info about NXT, visit NLSE.com, as Jalen Wells gets the carry and gets just about nothing on the play.
Yeah, we've talked about the importance of certain drives, throughout the course of this game. There's no way of overstating this. They need to get points on the board here. I mean, we're late in the ball game, less than 5 minutes and 45 seconds left. I think on this drive, Seattle has got to find a way to at least put 3 points on the board on this drive.
2-possession ball game, touchdown and a field goal, as Blanton finds a receiver. Good set of routes there, and Patton is able to get it out to the 41-yard line, brings up 3rd and short.
Yeah, and if you want to get yards, why not go to one of the best wide receivers that has shown up this season? And at least from a statistical standpoint, in Zachary Patton, there he does that. Now we're looking at a 3rd and 2.
Getting closer to the century mark here, close to 90 yards on the evening, as Blanton takes the snap, airs one out wide open, man, and that's caught. Gears with the catch along the far sideline, and that extends the drive, and he is feeling it.
Yeah, that he is, and follow it up with hitting, you go from Zachary Patton to David Gears, your 2 star wide receivers, and why you need that. You need those sort of safety nets if you're a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, the way like Trellis Blanton is. And, his wide receivers have made plays for him in these last couple of games.
Under 5 to go. First down from the DC 41. Blanton going to swing it out to Wells, and Wells gets nothing on the play as Cuse was in there on the tackle. They go no huddle. Seven-step drop for Blanton. Pressure in his face. Throws it into coverage and incomplete. He had 2 defenders out there that were in tight coverage. DeSantis and Bullock. Bullock being the one that batted the football away.
Yeah, and speaking of two great defensive plays back-to-back from DC, and not what you need at all if you're Seattle already and just that fast. We're looking at a 3rd and 10 here, albeit they're at the 41-yard line, but they're not close enough, to get 3 points on the board via a field goal. They're going to have to get some more yards here.
Crucial 3rd down for Blanton and company. Trellis going to check it down to Wells. Jalen trying to get some sort of yardage here. Will only get 2 as he makes it out to the DC 40. And that's still going to be a little bit too long of a field goal attempt there.
Yeah, and if you look at that play, that last play there, their offensive plays are just being destroyed by these defensive backs. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 8.
Yeah, I agree with this call as well. Blanton quickly fires it close to the first down, but he's not going to get it. DC stops him very short, about 1.5 yards or 2 yards short, and that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't blame them at all, and he had to get rid of the ball there as quick as he did. Otherwise, it would have been a sack. There was no chance, of him finding anybody else in the amount of time that he had to pass the ball there. I don't blame them for going for it there on 4th down. Unfortunately, it didn't result in a new set of downs for Seattle. Now DC has the ball and the momentum.
Declan O'Rourke with the clutch stop there gives his offense back to football, up by 10 with about 4 minutes to go. Say with the swing pass will get about 2 on the play.
Smart play from Kevin Say. Yeah, he only got 2 yards there, but what did he not do? He didn't go out of bounds. He spun himself back inbounds, made sure to go down before they pushed him out, and the clock continues to run.
Eric Vincent, Jay Hayden, Stephen Hacker in the stats truck along with Eddie Gage. And it's been a great ball game here in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle doing their best to hang tough with DC, a playoff team just a season ago. Their inaugural home game of their expansion season as Say gets another carry and will get another 2 on the play. Clock continuing to roll, though.
Continuing to run. It's the enemy right now, probably the biggest, enemy right now for Seattle, if it's not DC, would be this clock. They've got to get them off the field here on this play.
DC very clearly taking their time in the huddle there, wanting to bleed away just about every drop of this clock. Offset eye, under 3 to go. 3rd and 6. Handoff to Kevin Say. Say with blocking up front. He's got room, and he's going to get a fresh set of downs out near midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
Yeah, do you get him out in the open field? It's a wrap. I mean, there's no way you're going to stop him, once he sees green grass. Not what you wanted if you're Seattle. And look at that blocking there from Josh Gill, from Lauren Picoco, from Mike Churchill. I mean, that's beautiful blocking there on the side. There was no chance of any Seattle player getting a hand on Kevin Say before he got that first down. Great job there blocking. Great job overall from that offense from DC.
And that's going to make it very, very tough sledding here for the Seattle Nemesis to get back in this football game. With a fresh set of downs, DC getting close to that 2-minute warning here. Have to run one more play before the warning. Hand it off to Say. Say again with a lot of space up the middle of the field. Chunk of 8 yards there as we hit 2 minutes. DC trying to put a lock on this game on the road, up by 10. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on YouTube.
Right.
2 minutes to go. DC looking to add that final nail in the coffin and move to 1-1 on season 19. Handoff again to Say. Say with plenty of space once again, and he's dragging defenders out across the 30-yard line to the 26.
Just
and
one
Seattle will burn the
there
first time
from
out.
Kevin Say. I mean, a heck of a run. There's nobody there to stop him. They got a hole that's as big as a truck can drive through that hole there from that offensive line. Kevin Say with yet another first down here, and at this point, it's almost academic. Seattle has to call a timeout in order to try to preserve some time and try to stay in the ball game.
It's going to be very difficult for Seattle at this point with 2 timeouts. DC within field goal range. Say with another handoff. He's been great on this drive, and he's still on his feet somehow. You got to be kidding me. Seattle burns their second timeout. I don't even know what happened there, Jay. Can you make heads or tails of that?
I have no idea what I just saw other than one of the best running backs I've ever seen making the play. He spun about 7 times. I don't know how he's not throwing up right now on the field after spinning that many times, putting himself through the spin cycle. What a run from Kevin Say.
Sets up 2nd and 5. That's not going to do them any favors either, as Seattle gives DC a free 5 yards. And it's not going to matter either way, as Kevin Say gets the first down yardage needed, and that should just about do it. Yeah, Dragons are going to decline that, keep the clock rolling. Kevin Say got the first down yardage needed anyhow, and that should just about do it here, Jay.
Yeah, it should. Again, it's academic, at this point. But give credit to Seattle for playing one heck of a game here against, again, like we mentioned before, a team that made the playoffs just one season ago, and they're a brand new expansion team with a lot of youth, a lot of rookies, a lot of inexperience on their side right now. So, no reason to hang your head being as new of a team as you are and playing against as talented of a team as DC is. But again, also give credit to DC for being able to come in here in Seattle. These fans have been waiting for this moment for over 2 years to see another football team come here through Seattle, and they were ready and they were rabid throughout this game for sure. But DC was able to hold on regardless and play one heck of a game.
Yeah, great game plan by both teams, as DC just a little bit better here this evening. And, they stuck to their bread and butter. They gave Kevin Say the football. And, on this final drive, I feel like that shows more so than anything else, as they gave him the ball and he was running the rock for about 49, 50 yards on this drive. And that will be the final nail in the coffin for Seattle in their inaugural home game for the Nemesis.
Yeah, the thing that you hear people say quite often is players get better as the game goes along, and there's no question that that's the case for Kevin Say. It's as if this defense, and for obvious reason, they just got worn down. As the game got along, as the game got on, they got worn down by what this offense was able to do, particularly, number 20 there in the backfield. But Kevin Say, as the game went on, he just got more energy and more drive and more strength and wanted to make sure that they closed this game out with their first win of the season here in season 19.
Yeah, they relied heavily on Kevin Say, as Pati is going to attempt a field goal here just as pomp and circumstance, and he nails it, making it a 13-point advantage here for DC with 21 seconds to go. Kevin Say with 167 yards on the ground on 23 attempts. And if you look at the receiving, no receiver for DC had more than 43 yards. So it's very clear what the game plan was here this evening for the DC Dragons.
Yeah, they weren't going to have a replay of what happened last week. Now, mind you, let's be 100% transparent. From a talent standpoint, they're not the Baltimore Vultures, okay? We understand that. But they also understood they need to make adjustments. You have to make adjustments in this league because there's so many talented players and there's so many talented coaches, so many talented game planners throughout our league. DC is some of the best that we have. They knew what they needed to do, and they did that today to get the win. Absolutely.
And Seattle, very young team, as you pointed out. They'll go ahead and they'll take their licks and they'll go ahead and they'll learn as they go along. And that's what comes with being an expansion team. You eventually get to the point where, you start finding the feel as a ball club, as a team, as Pat makes the catch there for a short gain of 3.
Yeah, just adding a few yards there to one of the better wide receivers we've seen. And that's pretty much been their bright spot. It hasn't been their only bright spot, but it's certainly been one of the main bright spots that they've had offensively. I can't wait to see what Zachary Patton is going to do, throughout the course of this season statistically, because he's had a pretty good go of it for the first 2 weeks.
Trellis going to step up, fire it over the middle, and that falls incomplete, freezes the clock at 10 seconds. And Seattle's definitely got some weapons. Zachary Patton, David Gears, T. DeQueen, and Paulie Truth, those are the stars on this offense and the star pass catchers. And those are some big-time names. I mean, even if they are all fairly young, those are some big-time playmakers.
Yeah, and they've shown it. You know, again, we talked about it before. You know, they played against Charleston in South Carolina, one of the best defenses that we have. And they were able to do some of the things that they were able to do offensively, you know, against that defense. I mean, they've got the talent. It's just going to take some time for them to gel, and that's completely understandable.
Blanton fires it over the middle, finds Gears for first down yardage, and that'll just about do it here from Seattle. DC with the 33-20 victory over the Seattle Nemesis, as DC moves to 1-1 and Seattle falls to 0-2 on the young season. As we get a look at the final game stats and highlights, Jay, what are your final thoughts, my friend?
Game from Seattle. Did the outcome ultimately result in what they wanted? Absolutely not. But they have nothing to be ashamed of. Over 411 yards against a team as talented as DC is. They're on the right track. They'll be just fine as the season progresses. But this night belongs, at least this game, belongs to DC, and particularly Kevin Say doing Kevin Say type things. There you see that beautiful interception from Jorge Torres. They're one of two interceptions that he had here in this football game. But DC, you know, they just showed what they have been able to do for the last couple of seasons. You know, particularly last season going into this season. You know, some of them, what we noticed, especially with season 16, season 17, DC would be in close football games and they weren't able to figure it out. They weren't able to win those football games. In season 18, they'd been together long enough, they could figure it out. They knew what they needed to do to win those close football games, and that's what you saw here tonight. Just a team that's experienced, a team that knows how to win these types of football games. And eventually Seattle will get to that point as time progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jorge Torres, that's a great point. He stepped up here in the second half, getting that long interception return all the way back to the other end. Another interception in the end zone to stop a key Seattle drive, and that gave the football back to the DC offense. Kevin Say, your player of the game, 23 attempts, 167 yards on the ground, and 1 touchdown. Well, on behalf of Jay Hayden, Stephen Hacker, and Eddie Gage in the Stats Truck, executive producer and commissioner extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, my name is Eric Vincent. Thank you for tuning into this presentation of the Simulation Football League. We will continue with SFL action tomorrow, and you don't want to miss a second of it. Thank you for tuning in. Good night from Seattle.